Hi there. Last week was the first big upfront panel by Warner Discovery after their mega merger. And they talked about how they're going to combine HBO Max with Discovery Plus into the new streamer Max, and how it's launching in the United States on May 23rd. They didn't specifically talk about international release schedule at this panel, but they have before. They said we're going to have a follow-up panel in May where we talk about our sports packages and the international stuff. But other news has come out since then the past few days for the big India market, which I wanted to share about this. That really changed things. I have been reporting on the things they said back in August and back in December. I'm going to give a brief recap of that again and point you back to the other video. So this is the short version. Now, remember how HBO Max originally spread in the order of US, Latin America, certain parts of Europe, then Southeast Asia. They were going to follow the same order. They put out a chart back in August saying they intended for the combined Max to launch in the United States summer of 23, then in Latin America fall of 2023, parts of Europe that are direct markets early 2024, Southeast Asia, summer of 2024, and that's based in Singapore. It includes the Philippines, it's not India, it's Southeast Asia. And then new markets by the end of 2024. They put numbers next to these so we could tell basically which ones they were including. New markets at the time when they announced this last August probably meant India, France, Korea, because they were gearing up to launch HBO Max in those right before everything got put on pause when they merged with Discovery Plus, and they had to spend a year going through all the legal stuff. But they were on the verge of expanding to those places. The fourth one, I think, they said 4 new markets, is actually the Netherlands, which is weird that the Netherlands already got HBO Max because it got it right before everything got put on pause. That they said March 8th, it's coming to Eastern Europe, it's coming to Spain, it's coming to Netherlands, and the next wave after this will be the Baltics, will be Iceland, will be Greece, and that didn't happen. And we've heard no news about that since for those countries. I don't know what's going on. But this isn't for countries with large third-party distributors. The biggest one, of course, is Sky Atlantic, the multinational that has third-party rights for the UK, Germany, and Italy. They didn't get HBO Max. They're not going to get Max until, at the least, their contracts run out in 2025. That's why this rollout plan ends at the end of 2024. All the other third-party contracts run out then, such as for Canada and for Australia. Those are in place through 2025. But this is upgrading places that had HBO Max or nearly had it to the new system. What has happened since then? Well, the update, and I made an update video about this in first week of December of last year, was that things were actually moving ahead of schedule. That originally they said United States release by summer, which means very specifically July, when their summer schedule starts after basketball. But now they were saying by spring. And of course, May 23rd is the last week of spring, but still spring. Still 2 months earlier than we thought. So of the 4 TV seasons of the year, it was a full season ahead of schedule. So the question I had was, does this mean the entire international release schedule is ahead of season? Did everyone get bumped up? Or maybe only some of them? Maybe Brazil is getting it summer of 2023 instead of fall of 2023, but Philippines is still getting it summer of 2024. I'm not sure. Now, of course, for our purposes, as this is a Game of Thrones fan channel, the question is, would you get this in time for House of the Dragon Season 2, which is coming out probably summer of 2024? Well, assuming this stayed the same, if you're in Southeast Asia, I get a lot of viewers from the Philippines, you were already slated to get this summer of 2024, timed with the release of Season 2. The question I brought up in the December video is, those new markets which originally were going to miss that, which were late 24, like, and this still stands, France and Korea. Maybe France will get it in the summer if everything is ahead of schedule like the United States. We don't know. But the bigger thing for me was India as part of new markets being bumped up or not, because India has maybe as many subscribers as Western Europe. It's a big new market. That'll be huge when it comes. But since then, in the past few days since the panel, there was one big new international news announcement for the India market. That they signed a new third-party contract with, I haven't heard of this before, Jio Cinema. It's another big local streamer in India. That before, starting in 2017, they started releasing Game of Thrones stuff through a affordable streaming service in India through Hotstar. Problem is, Hotstar is owned by Disney. But that's like when I was around online in 2016 for season 6 of Game of Thrones, there weren't that many people from India online for the fan community. I mean, there were some, but there was this explosion in the number of Indian viewers we were getting on YouTube and other things, timed with when it started coming on Hotstar. And you can see timed to when Hotstar came out. But HBO wasn't too happy about having to air their content through something owned by their major rivals. They don't want to use Disney Hotstar. And what fans told me in the past month, about a full month ago, service for all of the HBO content on Hotstar was yanked offline without explanation. That for the past month, they have been unable to watch House of the Dragon or Game of Thrones content on Hotstar, which it was launching on for Season 1. Well, the new deal is exclusive with Jio Cinema, and unfortunately, it's a 5-year contract. So this isn't just through 2025, this is into the far future. For the next 5 years at least, Jio Cinema is the home of House of the Dragon, and before too long, the Dunk and Egg spin-off they're making. So if you still have, for my India viewers, if you still have a Hotstar account and the main reason you had it was to watch House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones content, you may seriously consider canceling it for Jio Cinema if you can only afford one. I'd be interested in that. Tell me in the comments if this is really affecting whether you still use Hotstar or not. So this is a step in the right direction for Warner Discovery because they shifted to a different third party, but at least one that isn't owned by one of their international competitors anymore. It's not owned by Disney. And you will get this content streaming same day. It's not the full HBO Max or the new Max thing that was going to merge from it. I don't know if this is a step in the right direction or not. I like to think it is. And for everyone else, if you ask, why am I so focused on India? India just became, in the past year, the 3rd largest country watching my YouTube channel. Though, like I said, when Hotstar came, it was this whole new audience. The other national rankings, that YouTube analytics of my channel viewership by country is usually pretty stable. That it's always the top 5 rows. United States is 40 to 42%. UK is 10 to 12%. Then, like, Germany and Australia are down to, and Canada are, like, hovering around the 3% region. India is now 5% of my audience. It's bigger than Canada. It's bigger than Australia. And more importantly, it has a higher rate of growth. The UK has been 10% for the past 5 years. India, 3-4 years from now, will be bigger than the UK in terms of people watching my channel. So yeah, I have a sizable, the 3rd largest chunk of my audience is from India. I should probably cover, hey, how they changed service providers for you guys. Interested in the comments if you're from there, that this isn't just, well, it's a show for the United States. It films in Spain and the UK. The United States is only 40% of my audience. It's a plurality, but it is not even the majority of my audience. US plus UK is only half. This is a global phenomenon. So that's where things are looking now in terms of international spread. And the big parts of Europe that don't have it yet are basically just down to Sky Atlantic and France. Everything else got, and the Baltics. Oh yeah, I forgot that we don't know what's going on. They promised it would be in Greece, and now it's not. So, but France will probably get it by late 2024. That will be a big expansion. As for Canada, Australia, and all the other things, the contracts are up in 2025, and then it's a whole new game all over again of tracking who might or might not be getting it based on their industry announcements and negotiations. They might have more internationalization news at the follow up panel next month. Please like and subscribe. I will report on it.